Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Dan2010 on Xbox Live, and we're back again making some more WWE predictions, and this time it's for WWE Extreme Rules 2019. And we're gonna start things off as we got Alistair Black. On the left, we'll be taking on Cesaro, who's on the right-hand side. So, this little thing started, by the way, before I actually continue, I'd just like to point out the rules of how I usually make these predictions. The way I do it is who I think is going to win, and who I want to win, and who I want to win is my own personal opinion. Who I think is going to win is who I think WWE have booked to win. So now I'm going to continue to what I was about to say, and how all this started is basically a few weeks ago, and when Alistair Black first arrived on SmackDown Live, he's been doing his promos to saying, "Why won't no one challenge me to a match? I can understand why people won't challenge me to a match, but I'm demanding for people to challenge me for a match." And all these promos went on for a while, until most recently, where we had a sit-down interview where they were going to reveal somebody that was going to, came along knocking on the door of Alistair Black. And it turns out that that person that was knocking on that door 1 week before the last week was indeed Cesaro. Now, with all that build up, and after all that, it being Cesaro, and me thinking that it was going to be Alistair Black turning heel, it is not. Alistair Black is still a babyface, and he will be facing Cesaro, who at Extreme Rules. There ain't no extreme rule match, extreme match types to go with this. It's just in the regular singles match. Whether it'll take place on the main card or the kickoff show, I don't know. But if I can make a prediction of who I think and who I want is going to win, I think it will be Alistair Black, and I want it to be Alistair Black. Pretty simple there, because even though Cesaro's had a really good tag team run, and for him to have this singles run now after, having a long tag team run, I forgot about that. Let me just and after having a tag team run, and of course now he's going into this singles run. Alistair Black has not been on TV for quite some time, and the fact that he's just come up from NXT and had those a couple of tag team matches with Ricochet, I think it's about time his singles career in WWE was to go up, starting with a pinfall of a veteran like Cesaro. So that'll be good, in a sense. So that'll be a good matchup to see, and I can't wait to see who wins it. Good clash of styles here. So, well, there's the matchup itself. And the next match is for the Raw Tag Team Championships. As the two-time Raw Tag Team Champions, the Revival will take on the six-time WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos. For the Tag Team Championships. The Revival will be defending these titles against the Usos here. Now, this is going to be a very interesting. These two have been going on it for quite some time, and the rivalry in the ring is been a bit okay-ish. But there's been some funny skits which I didn't exactly think is that funny, and I can probably say that on behalf of the majority of the WWE universe. But here we are again. The Raw Tag Team titles are on the line, and a lot of a pay-per-view, and this time, and the Usos are the ones that are challenging for those belts, the tag team belts. So how many more chances are the Usos going to get? I don't know if they will win this one, so therefore I'm going to say I think the Revival will end up retaining this titles, but I want the Usos to win because they are actually a pretty better team than the Revival as tag team champions. Not taking anything away from the Revival, but they didn't do anything with the tag team titles last time, but the Usos do successfully do stuff with their tag team title reign. So that's why I want the Usos to win, even though I kind of think since that they just won the tag team titles, I think that maybe the Revival will retain here. It will be a very good good matchup, I think, because the Usos have their fast-paced, high-flying skills as well as technical skills and whatever, and being Samoan helps as well. But the Revival are technicians, and it's all fists and no flips. So I reckon it'll be a decent matchup. I just don't see the Usos winning this matchup, even though I'd like them to. So yeah, that's this matchup right here. I think this one's a very good even matchup. As I said, I think that. And here we have a rivalry that's been going on for quite some time now. Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman. And this one is a last man standing match. And after the brutality that these two have been putting each other through lately, and the silly games like the tug and war and the arm wrestling contest, this last man standing match is something to take off a lot of steam from these guys. One of these guys is going to be incapacitated for the 10 count, and the other one's going to be the last man standing. Too hard to call a bit, really, but the majority of the time when it comes to last man standing matches, except from a couple of times, the babyface usually wins. And knowing that Braun Strowman is walking in this as the babyface, Braun Strowman, I think, is most likely going to win this one because he actually has an advantage because, well, he's actually won a last man standing matchup before, as he actually beat Roman Reigns on a Monday Night Raw in a last man standing match once before. But that was due to shenanigans, and again, he was even though he was kind of the heel at that time, he still has the advantage here against Bobby Lashley. Not so much muscle and height wise, because they are both big dudes. And after that incident on the Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago, where they both got speared from the electronic billboard, the stage, the Minitron, that for me was freaking awesome. But Bobby Lashley out of the two was the first one to recover compared to that. So we'll just have to wait and see at Extreme Rules to see who is the last man standing. But as I said, I think it'll be Braun Strowman, and I want Braun Strowman to win. Well, what can you say? He's Braun freaking Strowman! And he's not finished with you, Lashley! Not yet. Even after this last man standing match, he ain't finished with you, and Lashley isn't finished with Braun Strowman either. So we'll just have to see how this one plays out, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be. And here we have the Cruiserweight Championship rematch from the last pay-per-view, with Stomping Grounds. Well, where the former champ Tony Nese is getting his chance to win back his Cruiserweight Championship against Drew Gulak, which I'm surprised they are doing this because I thought they got rid of the whole championship rematch thing. Now, I haven't watched 205 live, so it's possible he earned that opportunity, but because I haven't seen it, I'm just going to go ahead and guess it was the rematch clause, which I thought they got rid of. So I'm a bit confused on why this match is happening. So, but considering that Drew Gulak only just won the Cruiserweight Championship at Stomping Grounds, means that I think it will be him that wants this. As much as I want Tony Nese to regain the Cruiserweight Championship, because he won that Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania, it would be nice to see a heel Cruiserweight Champion for a little bit longer. I haven't seen a heel Cruiserweight Champion since Neville, I'd like to say. Well, Buddy Murphy technically, but even if Buddy Murphy was cheered from time to time. So, like a proper and dastardly heel Cruiserweight Champion would be nice to see in Drew Gulak. So, that's why I think he's going to win, but I want Tony Nese to win. This isn't another Extreme Rules or whatever you want to say, matches with extreme notifications in it or stipulated matchup. It's just a regular singles competition, and that again may take place on the kickoff show because the Cruiserweight Championship usually does take place on the kickoff show. So I don't think this is going to be as two good styles here of wrestling here with Tony Nese being a technical brawler as well, and he does the submission specialist in Drew Gulak. So I think this will be a good one to see, even if it is on the kickoff show. And the next match is for the United States Championship. And again, it's just a regular singles match as the United States Champion Ricochet will be taking on the brandly new turn heel from a babyface to a heel, rejoining with these club members, former United States Champion AJ Styles. Now, will this be a victory that is just too sweet, or will be Ricochet standing on his feet? As that rhymed, I didn't even know. It's because I could be a poet. I don't think this will be a very fast-paced matchup, because both AJ Styles and Ricochet can be quick-paced at times, and these two have faced off before twice, which AJ Styles has beaten Ricochet and Ricochet has beaten AJ Styles. So this is the rubber match in a sense, but it's for the United States Championship. It's gonna. I think it's gonna be a really interesting one. Will the club members be at ringside, or will they be banned from ringside? We'll see. We will see if Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson will be a factor in this matchup. Who do I think is gonna win? Ricochet. And who do I want to win? Again, I'm gonna go with Ricochet here. I mean, AJ Styles, I can officially say, is a veteran of this business, and not just WWE, but the whole entire wrestling business in general. Former TNA Ring, I think it's been in Ring of Honor. New Japan, and now in WWE. Man, he's done it all. So, to become United States Champion once again, we wouldn't be too bad, but it wouldn't be okay to see him lose here, because nothing ventured, nothing gained for AJ Styles, because he's pretty much done it all anyway. So, this will be a sweet victory to have Ricochet win, because it just makes more sense, because then he can be that fighting champion that we all want to see, as successfully retain his championship over and over again when it comes to him defending his title on the pay-per-views. well, and you know, make a different pace instead of that big man like Samoa Joe as United States champion, and maybe a technical wrestler like AJ Styles. So for this match, as I said, I think, and I want Ricochet to win that championship and retain. Oh, don't you dare be sour, unless you're me, because I don't like triple threat tag team matches. Because the way that the WWE do them and I think it's probably anywhere, is that it's very, very weird. For you see, when it comes to normal triple threat matches, all three men stay in the ring at the time. And it would make 10 times more sense as if one member of each team was to, in a three-way, was to start in the ring at the same time, and then they can only tag their partners in, and that's it. But no, the way that this triple threat match would work is not one person. Say, for example, if it might start off with Tucker and Daniel Bryan, then they have to then make a tag to their partners, or heck, they don't even need to tag their partners, they can tag anyone else in. But considering it's for the SmackDown Live tag team titles that is currently held by Daniel Bryan and Daniel Bryan and Rowan, why would you want to? Like, so we get this whole blind tag situation that happens, and so therefore it's all mishmash, and I think at the end of the day it's gonna be Daniel Bryan and Rowan that retain their SmackDown Live tag team titles. However, with that being said, I want, and as much as I like the New Day to become a 6-time tag team champions, they have done it before. And they've won the tag team titles, and they don't really do much with it. And but the only time they did something meaningful with tag team title gold was to beat Demolition's title reign and become the longest reigning tag team champions. So give the new guys on the SmackDown Live roster a chance. Heavy Machinery. So that's who I want to see win this matchup. Heavy Machinery. And, you know, it's kind of, will be fresh, it'll be new, it'll be fun, it'll be exciting to see these new tag teams as tag team champions. But I don't think it's going to happen just yet. I think it'll be Daniel Bryan and Rowan, like I said, and we might see Heavy Machinery as tag team champions. Right, 1, go. Well, in this match, it's a 2-on-1 handicap match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley, the champion, has to defend herself in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Now, again, he's kind of got a bit of an advantage considering that I don't know if there's no disqualifications in a handicap matchup, and Nikki Cross did say that you try and find yourself a friend that's gonna to help you out. I dare you to bring a friend to help you out at Extreme Rules. But if you can't, it's gonna be a 2-on-1 handicap match, which is, no matter what happens, but I wonder if many things are going to happen here. First of all, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are the ones that are going to be in there, two that are going to be taking on, they are the two taking on Bayley. I just want to point that out, in case you get confused. So, and also, I don't know how it works. Like, do both Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross become co-champions? Is it the person that makes Bayley tap out, or make him Bayley that becomes the champ? Like, how does it work? That's the biggest question of them all. Second of all, after what Nikki Cross said to Bayley on SmackDown Live about trying to find a friend or something to help you out, what you need is a friend, but to try and help you out, does that mean that they're hinting that Sasha Banks is coming back? After bitching and moaning about what happened with the SmackDown Live Women's Tag Team Champions, SmackDown Live, what happened to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships? Maybe she had a right to, because after going to the Iconics, which I loved to begin with, but they haven't defended the titles and have done nothing with the titles. I just feel, now. But that's another lot of titles for another day. Something's gonna go down. I don't know when they're gonna defend them, but we'll find out. But this match is what I'm gonna focus on, and again, I don't know who to choose here. The Alexa Bliss is representing Raw, and this whole wild card rule has just gone out the window. I don't know if we have a wild card anymore. Are we going back to the old days of where anyone can show up on either Raw or SmackDown? Please, WWE, make your freaking mind up on what you're doing. You're confusing everyone. Like, what's the point in having 2 title belts to begin with? Anyway, I'm gonna get to the point before I run out of time. Who do I think is gonna win? Bayley. Who do I want to win? This is gonna shock you, but I want Team Alexa to win. I know it's not gonna happen because there's gonna be some shenanigans that's gonna cost them too between Nikki and Alexa, but I want them to win. I want them to that this time for once that Alexa's actually truly 100% being nice to Nikki. I want it to be a twist. I don't want that same old Alexa Bliss is using Nikki to get to what she wants. I kind of want it to be that she's genuinely being nice to Nikki and letting her team up and letting her have to spotlight her herself and not being selfish. But I don't think that's happening here. And as much as I'd like to have a Bayley heel turn, that's not going to happen just yet. I think Bayley, but I want Team Alexa to win this one. And this is the third from last match to predict, as again, a Raw superstar is trying to go after the SmackDown Live main championship, which is the WWE Championship, the biggest prize in the business, and I couldn't blame him for that. Samoa Joe is challenging WWE Champion Kofi Kingston. Now, while we're on the subject of the champion, WWE Champion Kofi Kingston, and I'll get to the Universal Champion Seth Rollins in just a moment, but on Monday Night Raw this week, we had, I think it was this week, Paul Heyman came out and said that he could be screwing with us and Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins, but he said this isn't I love to make spoilers, and this one is one of them, and that is that Brock Lesnar is going to be at Extreme Rules and will cash in against the Universal Champion Seth Rollins or WWE Champion Kofi Kingston, which is very interesting because I've forgotten his name now. Brian Zane pointed out on Wrestling with Regret when he on one of his videos. Does that actually mean that he's actually kind of really has spoiled what's gonna happen at Extreme Rules, and the fact that Kofi Kingston will retain the WWE Championship? But I would like to point out on this video, Brian must have not paid attention to the rest of the promo, because after that he said, well, I could be telling you that it's a spoiler and that he's cashing in against Kofi Kingston, or I could just be messing with Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins' mind. So yeah, I think he didn't point out the fact that he was he may be messing with his mind. So therefore, he may not be actually spoiling WWE Extreme Rules. So really, I don't think he is. And so with that being said, and keeping that Brock Lesnar might be there, I reckon that we may have a new WWE champion at the end of the night regardless, because I think that Samoa Joe could actually beat Kofi here, because Kofi Kingston. I love his title reign, but title reigns must end, and I think here at Extreme Rules that he ain't gonna get so lucky without Big E and Kofi Kingston being there, because they would be either celebrating backstage with the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, or licking their wounds after their match and not becoming champions. So, how lucky will Kofi Kingston be? After doing this to Samoa Joe a couple of weeks ago and then hit him with a Trouble in Paradise, will that be enough to keep Samoa Joe down? Possibly. But then again, we have had those sneak attacks from behind, and Samoa Joe has managed to knock out Kofi Kingston with the completer clutch. There's only one way to find out who's going to win this matchup, and I think it will be. Now, here's something that from what I can remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. At least for this modern day and age, I haven't seen this happen before. I could be wrong, and I think it has happened before, where there's been a mixed tag team matchup and winner takes all. Obviously, that has happened before, like with the WWE and Intercontinental Championship, or WWE United States Championship. And I think maybe once or twice it may have been done with where the Women's Championship and the WWE main title, WWE Championship has been on the line. But this combination of the WWE Universal Championship and the Raw Women's Championship will be defended both at the same time in a mixed tag team matchup, as real life couple Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins will be taking on Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. Now, I would say real life couple, but they are not. They are a kayfabe couple. This has been very confusing with this whole WWE telling us that they are a real couple, even though they put it all over social media. But I suppose it's just at the end of the day, it's down to the person. People, if they're comfortable of letting the entire WWE universe know that they are a real couple by putting it out on Facebook with that picture of them kissing backstage somewhere, then that is fine with me. I'm happy for them. I'm always happy for a couple that come out, whether they're real life celebrities or not. So we've had plenty of power couples in WWE. Just take one of the biggest ones, so Triple H and Stephanie. Look, yeah. So, although the whole match mixed tag team matches that they had on SmackDown and Raw could have been a bit much more interesting if, they did another real life couple with Mike and Maria Kanellis, which again, that story is for another day. Then they had Andrade and Selena Vega, which again, if you're talking of real life couples, they could have done Aleister Black, but Aleister Black has got his own story to begin. Again, that's just from earlier, so that kind of makes sense now I think about it. So, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch that are the Universal Champion, and Seth Rollins and Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch taking on Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. Now, Lacey Evans has not been able to win that Raw Women's Championship by herself, but maybe she'll be able to thank Baron Corbin, who has came this close to becoming Universal Champion thanks to Lacey Evans, but because of shenanigans with Becky Lynch at Stomping Grounds, he wasn't able to do this. And there's stipulations here. The stipulations are winners. There's two lots actually, to be honest. There's winner take all, and of course, if basically this is what happens. If Baron Corbin, it's all down to Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, by the way. If Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans win, they win the titles. If they lose, both Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans don't get a shot at the Universal Championship and Raw Women's Championships, respectively. I'm guessing, as long as they're champion. Like, for example, if Becky Lynch was to lose the title to someone else, and Seth Rollins was to lose his title to someone else, I'm guessing Baron can then possibly challenge for the title. But as long as Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are the champions of Raw, then those two can't compete for it if they lose. This is the biggest one to do now. Who do I think is going to win? It's obvious to me. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And every time I say I want Baron Corbin to win, because again, I love Baron Corbin as a heel, as a wrestler. He does what he does best to get that goddamn heat. And could you imagine him telling this "I told you so" and for Seth Rollins if he was to beat him? So, you know, even though he squandered his chance to be Mr. Money in the Bank, that was the past. This is now. Look where he is. He's been main eventing 2 pay-per-views in a row for the Universal Championship. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does. So, we're gonna move on. And look who's in it in this matchup, which is the last matchup to predict of the evening, and chances are will be the main event. We have on one side the McMahon posse, and representing that posse, of course, is Shane McMahon himself and Drew McIntyre. Now, I made this little team name up because of the following reasons. The following people that are actually helping Shane McMahon at the moment are the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Warrior. We got Elias who's that helped out Shane McMahon and recently, and of course his main man, Drew McIntyre. So if you count Shane McMahon himself, that's 5 people in like this stable thing that he's got going. So it would be very, very interesting to see if this rumor comes true that Shane McMahon is heading towards a WWE Championship match, and the Revival are already Raw Tag Team Champions, and for Drew McIntyre to win either the Intercontinental Championship or the United States Championship would be the perfect heel fact. And then Elias to win the opposite, the Intercontinental or United States Championship. Like you could have Drew McIntyre as the United States Champion just to piss somebody off, and then have Elias win the Intercontinental Championship, and then you got the Revival who are ready to Raw Tag Team Championships to take the top of the cake. You have Shane McMahon as WWE Champion. It will be perfect, in my opinion, because you know it'll just make people want to tune in to Raw and SmackDown even more to go, God damn it, I hate you, Shane McMahon. But just like that, they're gonna add Extreme Rules here. They're gonna lose to The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. I mean, come on, we got a person that is a former WWE. You've got 2 former world champions here. We got 2 former Royal Rumble winners. 2 people in the main event in WrestleMania, not just together, but in separate occasions. The Undertaker is a former. He's tag team champion. So is Roman Reigns. I mean, heck, I think it was, to my memory a little bit, I think as the American Badass, I swear Undertaker's won the United States Championship. I could be wrong. Don't at me at that, because, in fact, at me at that, because a lot of people don't at me. I'm saying at me. If you know that that is wrong, let me know. Because, you know, I would like to be corrected. Thank you very much. I want people to tell me if I'm right or wrong. Anyway, getting back to this matchup. So yes, that's the reason why I think that Roman Reigns and Undertaker are going to most likely win this match. And this is going to sound really weird, but I want Team Shane McMahon to win this match. Because he's beaten Roman Reigns, and well, Drew McIntyre couldn't beat Roman Reigns if he tried. I mean, he lost to him at WrestleMania and on Stomping Grounds. Was it Stomping Grounds? Yeah, I think it was. But so yeah, he's lost twice to Roman Reigns. Shane McMahon has lost to The Undertaker, and well, Drew McIntyre has beaten up by The Undertaker in the past. So unfortunately, this is just going to be an easy one-sided fight with The Undertaker and Roman Reigns coming on up top. But it would be much more interesting if, to my opinion, if Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre were to win, because that's just going to give the ego of Shane McMahon to prove that he really wants to, and for always the best in the world. And then, just because that's why I love the WWE's, because it's not for the whole politics and shit like that I don't focus on. I focus on what I think looks good, because I am interested in the heels and the babyfaces for what they are, and I don't get that deep into it. I might make up some fantasy matches and fantasy booking from time to time, but by golly, stuff like this only happens once. Maybe even twice. But yeah, that's my WWE Extreme Rules 2019 predictions. As I said, for this last match, I think it's going to be Undertaker and Roman, but I want it to be Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. But what do you think is going to happen on WWE Extreme Rules 2019? Do you think that maybe McIntyre and Roman are going to win? Do you think that we're going to have new Raw Tag Team Champions? We're going to have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions? What about the Women's Championship that's on the line? There's so many different outcomes, so many different ways of heels turning face and faces turning heel, and so many grudge matches and whatnot. Who's going to win the last man standing match? You let me know in the comment section below, or just so yeah, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Dan 2x10 on Xbox Live, and I'm going to see you the Extreme Rules review and reaction. And I might have to do it back to the normal way, as the way I experimented on kind of backfired on me. But I've got it up there, so watch that Stomping Grounds prediction review. It's somewhere at the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.